We have big breaking news from Elon Musk that will rock the world's political, economic, and precious metals sectors. We're going to dig into that in this video. We're also going to talk about $62 silver, reasons why we can look forward to that possibly in the very near future. But most importantly, thank you for being here. Please subscribe to the channel. We're still running that special where it's free to subscribe to Ron's Basement. It's a big deal when you're here. This is not possible without you. You are important. We value you. We want you to come back. How did you get in my basement? Right? Please come back, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. Enough of that stuff. Let's talk about $62 silver, and then don't forget, big breaking news from Elon Musk. But let's start with our feature of the day. Our friend Rashad, who out on X is posting this. Silver has been trading within 14 months. Hold on here. We're having some technical problems. There we go. 14-month rising channel. I think silver is going to break out higher from the channel very soon, if not next week. Move to $40 is going to be lightning fast. We like that, Rashad. Then pause for a week or so and parabolic run to the $58 to $62 level by mid-August. This is not financial advice from him or me for that matter. But when we look at his chart and what he's talking about here, we can see some very, very interesting developments right now. Two of which he has highlighted are these wedge patterns that are occurring. And guys, we've talked about it many, many times here on the channel. Once we get the silver price up above $37.50 per ounce, we will be off to the races. But then he brings up something I think even a little more interesting when it comes to investing. He says, for silver to reach my $60 target, it will have to gain 60%. Imagine what happens to the silver miners, particularly to the junior sector. Real money will be made in miners, not silver. And I can tell you with no uncertain terms, because I do own the silver miners. I do own a lot of the silver exploration stage companies. Okay, I'm not giving financial advice, but companies like Dolly Varden Silver, companies like Suma Silver, BlackRock Silver, Silver 47, Capitan Silver down in Mexico. One of my other favorites, Silver Mountain Resources. These stocks have not really moved yet. And these are companies that have a lot of silver in the ground. Okay. And I'm not being sponsored. I'm not being paid to say this, but you can literally buy silver in the ground a lot of times for 50 cents or $1 per ounce. Now, there's a lot that has to go on to get that silver from being in the ground to in this form right here, right? Which is my favorite piece of silver of all time, the 1 ounce Buffalo round from our friends and channel sponsor over at First Mint. And while we're on that subject, yeah, look at that. I love this. This is my favorite piece of silver of all time. Okay, it used to be the South African Krugerrand. Everybody has their favorite. Right now, it's the 1 ounce Buffalo with the Indian head from First Mint. First Mint is a very unique company. Okay, number one, they do sponsor Ron's Basement, so thank you for that. But they're owned by First Majestic Silver, which is Keith Neumeyer's silver juggernaut company. So First Mint, right, gets their silver from First Majestic Silver, who mines it in Mexico, ships it to Nevada. To Nevada, where the mint is located, where it's made into world-class bullion products. They've got silver rounds, they have silver bars, but they're all unique to First Mint. But what's really unique about First Mint is they are from the mine to the mint directly to you. There's no COMEX, there's no LBMA, and they're producing made in America, minted in America, really awesome products. You can check them out at firstmint.com, and they have a discount code. Okay, remember the discount code, VIPRB. VIP, I think RB maybe stands for Ron's Basement. Thank you, First Mint, for sponsoring us here. And yeah, these mining stocks have so much room for growth. It's absolutely incredible. Let's talk about what Rashad has to say about gold, because gold is the granddaddy of all the precious metals, and he's got optimistic things to say about gold as well. We love Rashad, and do you agree with him? I agree with him on silver, and we got more to talk about with silver a little bit later. China, big news out of China with silver, but we also need to talk about what's going on. Big breaking news with Elon Musk that can really upset every apple cart out there. But when it comes to gold, Rashad says gold continues to hold above the 1.5-year channel for nearly 3 months post breakout. This setup looks extremely bullish to me, and I expect it to start breaking out to new all-time highs during the month of July. Let's pull this up. Wow, what an absolute beautiful chart. And we're going to look at another gold chart a little bit later, but this is what he's talking about right here. Okay, that 3-month period where it has broken out. And as he projects up to here, we've got big banks telling us that we could get a gold price of $4,000 by year end. I absolutely think it's possible. Look, I went through some very difficult times down here in the basement 2, 3, 4 years ago. We were together every single day when silver was $14, $15, $16 per ounce. Gold, remember gold, it would start to take off, then pull back. We were down here when gold was $1,600, $1,800 per ounce. As a matter of fact, that bear right there, that big teddy bear, those of you who have been basement dwellers for a long time, remember the bear had a blindfold on that said $2,500 and that we would take it off when gold hit $2,500. Well, guess what? That happened. And guys, when people give you a hard time about your bullishness about precious metals, okay, just remember, gold was what, like almost half of what it was right now, not too long ago. Silver, same thing. Okay, good things are coming. We know the underlying facts, and we'll dig into more of those here in a little bit later. The other thing that we want to talk about are the gold mining stocks, which as well, let's look at this other gold chart that I promised you, because we just wrapped up the second quarter, okay? April, May, and June, that's Q2 of the year for the gold miners, okay? And when we look at the price of gold over that period, what we can expect, because we're going to start to get earnings from these big mining companies soon, is blowout numbers. And I'll show you exactly why right now. Here we go to Yahoo for a 6-month chart of gold. And look at this absolutely beautiful piece of work by the gold price. There we go. Hold on here. All right, let's try that again. Uh-oh. Hold on, folks. All right, now it'll work. Okay, there's 6 months circled in red. This is the current gold price, $3,346. This is a 6-month chart starting on January 1st, right, and ending Friday. If we look at the midpoint right here, okay, that's March 30th. March 31st, March 30th. Anyway, the gold price, okay, as you can see, did very well during the first quarter, no doubt about it, but really was below 3,000. On average, I would say we were about 29. That's an ugly 9. Oh, well, $2,900 per ounce. This period from here to here, which is the quarter that we just wrapped up, if we look at that, I would say that we've had an average gold price of around $3,100 per ounce. Now, I need one of you who's really smart to do some advanced mathematics for me, but according to my calculations, that means that in the second quarter, the gold price averaged about $200 per ounce higher. Why is that a big deal for a gold mining company? Because basically, guys, in the second quarter, that extra $200 is pure profit. Their expenses did not go up. As a matter of fact, when you look at the oil price, their expenses overall may have gone down a little bit. We are going to get blowout numbers in the second quarter from the big gold mining companies, numbers that are going to shock Wall Street. Why is that good for the gold price and the silver price as well? Because that will bring more attention to the overall precious metal sector, which we know in no uncertain terms has been neglected, right? It's been like the forgotten stepchild, the whole precious metal sector for decades. And when the attention comes back, it could be explosive. In particular, for the junior mining sector, both in the gold and silver mining areas. Now, that gives me a great opportunity to say thank you right there to our friends at First Mining Gold. They are a junior gold mining development stage company. This company is awesome. They have millions of ounces of gold in the ground in Canada. Where else would you want to have your gold, right? If you're not going to hold it, right? Like I don't hold any gold here at home. I own gold mining stocks. I'd like to have that gold in the ground in Canada. It's been drilled. It's been determined that it's there. First Mining Gold has two huge projects, Du Parquet in Quebec and Springpole in Ontario. And they have a third project, which has about 1 million ounces of gold in the ground, the Cameron project, also in Canada. They're working through the development stage, the permitting stage. This drilling, decades of drilling have been done on both of these projects. Hundreds, over $100 million invested in drilling to determine that the gold is actually there. Now they are working through what's called the development stage, which is getting the permits, advancing the permits. Very exciting company. It is a stock that I own. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not giving financial advice, but in full disclosure, it's a stock that I owned well before they sponsored my channel. So do your own due diligence. I'm excited about the prospects, okay, for physical gold, physical silver, and for the mining stocks. Okay, guys, let's talk about Elon. It's that time, right? Big breaking news over the weekend, right? Happening right now. Elon Musk has announced that he is starting a new third political party here in the United States. This could send shockwaves, and I'm going to give you the reasons why, through the political system, through the economic system, and I believe ultimately through the precious metals sector as well. But let's go out and get the latest updates that we can on this breaking news story. And we'll go to Zero Hedge, who says it's official. Elon Musk's America Party is what it's called, registers with the Federal Election Commission. We got a lot to cover here. A new filing with the FEC confirms America's Party is now official as the billionaire sets out to challenge the entrenched uniparty duopoly in Washington. Musk has voiced deep frustrations with GOP lawmakers over their failure to codify the Doge cuts and President Trump's big, beautiful bill, which was signed into law on Independence Day. This is not a political channel. I'm just reporting the news, okay? But this is very interesting. Here's the paperwork. Registered at number 1 Rocket Road, and that's where SpaceX is also headquartered. They've got their CFO from I believe Tesla, who's the head guy on this. There's the actual paperwork. All right, let's get down to some more meat here. Here we go. This was one day after Musk put a poll on X asking his followers whether USA needs a new political party. Elon Musk announced on Saturday that the America's Party was formed. So he put a poll out. He said, by a factor of 2 to 1, you want a new political party, and you shall have it, Musk wrote. Today, the America Party is formed to give you back your freedom. So the whole point here is this idea that basically the Republican and Democratic Party, they call it a duopoly, right? That I'm not saying anything, again, not a political channel, but that they both have basically kind of to a certain degree become the same thing. Maybe some people might speculate controlled by the big money people, but I'll leave that one alone. When it comes to bankrupting our country with waste and graft, we live in a one-party system, not a democracy. That's what Musk said, okay? The announcement comes after 1.25 million people voted yes to whether he should create the America Party. Independence Day is the perfect time to ask if you want independence from the two-party, or some would say uniparty system. Should we create the party? The announcement comes one day after Trump signed the signature tax and spending bill, which Musk was vehemently opposed to for weeks, which resulted in a very public falling out with Trump, whose campaign Musk spent hundreds of millions of dollars promoting. And then Steve Bannon attacked him also in his calling Elon Musk Elmo the Mook. I don't really get that, but anyway, so that's the latest there. Bannon, Elmo the Mook, formerly Elon Musk, is at it again today. The gall for him as a foreigner to run on Twitter poll about starting an America political party. Newsflash, you're not, I mean, it is getting vile in this country. You're not an American, you're a South African billionaire meddling in our politics. So guys, big major news coming out. Look, we got to remember the reason why we need to pay attention to what Elon Musk is doing. Elon Musk, love him or hate him, has had some major big accomplishments in his life. He started SpaceX, which has basically replaced NASA. He started Tesla from scratch, right, which has become a very successful electric vehicle company. And there's a whole other list of major successes that he's had in his life. So to think that this situation is not something that we need to keep very close tabs on, I believe would be a huge, huge mistake. And some of the ideas that he's talking about, I believe, obviously do resonate with a large percentage of the American population. I mean, we're spending so much money, right, and racking up so much debt. And again, not a political statement, but the debt and deficit situation, and even what this most recent legislation is going to do, is leading us down a path of ruin. That's why we talk about how this could impact the value of precious metals, right? There's almost no way out that doesn't result in a further dilution and devaluation of this thing, this old boy. Oh, here it comes. Woo, it's floating across the screen, the paper dollar. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. A big developing big news. Nobody's talking about it, and that's why I think this could wind up being one of the biggest news stories. You ever notice that? Like the things that turn into the big news stories nobody saw coming, right? Remember last year, all the hula, hoorah around the BRICS summit? Oh, we're going to get a gold-backed currency and blah, blah, and all this speculation about what was going to happen. And it was kind of a nothing burger. Well, the exact opposite is happening right now, because you may not even realize, unless you're digging in deep to the news, that right now the BRICS summit is happening in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Okay? I think that what we can expect out of this BRICS summit could be some major big news. And let's talk about why I think that could be a big deal for precious metals. Okay? Because while last year everybody was so excited about this gold-backed currency that was going to come out, guess what's happened over the last year? Think about it. Has not the world kind of shifted more? And we said this a year ago. You have superior intellectual horsepower. We look around the corner a couple times. We saw this a year ago. We said the world doesn't matter if they officially announce it. The world is kind of sort of moving towards the gold standard anyway. And what have we seen over the last year? Nothing but increased more and more central bank buying of gold. Heck, the Russians are even buying silver for their strategic reserves. The world is moving back to the gold standard. It doesn't have to be official. And I've made the argument that really the world's always been on the gold standard. Yeah, there's these short-term mirage, make-believe systems, fiat systems that pop up for a couple hundred years here and there, all of which eventually fail. Right? So when we look back 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now about what's happening with this BRICS summit, I think the expectations are so low for any big news story to come out that we're going to be shocked. There's going to be some shockers that come out of this, because the world is moving away from the dollar and moving back to the gold standard. You absolutely cannot argue that, okay? And what about China and silver? Let's talk about silver one more time. What do you say? Like China, huh? Like some people say the biggest economy in the world. At minimum, they're the second biggest economy in the world. They're going crazy over silver. Wait till you get a load of this. If you like silver, you're going to like this. Oh, I forgot to show you. Here. Spend all this time getting this ready. Here we go, guys. Are we on the right screen? Hopefully this pulls up. BRICS Summit opens in Brazil, and nobody's talking about it. Overshadowed by Trump's tariff policies and Middle East tensions. I'm not going to waste your time reading you any details. That's from the Associated Press. If you get real bored later, go out there and take a look at it for yourself. Hold on here. Uh-oh. Hello? Hold on. Are we there? Something happened. Yeah, I know. Something happened. Hopefully we're still live. Hello? Can you see me? Okay, hold on, guys. I don't know what happened there. We had a little technical glitch. And let's go to the AP real quickly. Share. Okay. Are we on there? There I am. Can you guys see that right now? Hopefully. Huh? Come on, basement dwellers. It's a live stream. You never know what's going to happen. I haven't cursed yet. And if I told you how much I appreciate you being here, seriously, all of you who are here in the basement, how did you get in my basement? Huh? Yeah, because we love to hang out. I hope you feel like you found a home away from home. Don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, all that great stuff. Anyway, that's the bricks. What? Wrong way. Can you see me? That's the brick stuff right there that's going on right now. But let's talk about China and silver. This is absolutely fascinating. And this comes from our friends over at the Silver Academy. Chinese media promoting cheaper alternatives to gold. Okay. Wait a minute. This is why it's so important to keep an eye on China. Not only is China maybe the biggest economy in the world or the second biggest economy in the world, not only are they growing at a very fast pace, they have 1.4 billion people. But guess what? The other big reason why we need to pay attention to them if we love gold and silver is quite simply this. They don't have as many investment alternatives, and gold and silver have been interwoven into their culture for the millennia. But they have real estate, and the Chinese real estate market stinks. Stocks, they don't really trust the stock market. And guess what? Those Chinese people, they're smart, right? Over there at the Shanghai Gold Exchange, right? They don't trust banks either. So what do they have left? Oh, I don't know. Oh, what's shine? Hold on. There's something shining over in the corner. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they have this. Let's show them one more time. My favorite from First Mint. That Indian head. I love that. They got this. And the Chinese are developing a bit of a, let's say, fascination with silver, right? So they don't have many other options. It's been interwoven in their culture. They're the fastest growing country in the world. They got 1.4 billion people, like 4 times what the United States of America. And I love my country. But guys, we got to pay attention. And when they start loving silver, Katie, bar the door. All right, here we go. This is from the Silver Academy. This is a Chinese media article. Golden substitute is selling like hotcakes. The increase is higher than that of gold. They talk about how the silver price in this article in the Chinese media is taking off like crazy. Here in yellow. For decades, Western banking institutions treated silver as a strategic vulnerability, employing a wide range of tactics to suppress its price and discourage widespread ownership. This has included persistent short selling, spoofing, and frequent rule changes at the COMEX and the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association, all of which have served to demoralize and disincentivize retail investors in the West from holding silver. The mainstream media has largely maintained a blackout on silver's true potential or said that it's for pirates, further reinforcing the narrative that silver is an unworthy asset for the average person. In stark contrast, China has recognized unique value of silver and is now actively promoting it as poor man's gold by encouraging retail Chinese investment in building strategic reserves. China is positioning itself to benefit from a surge in physical demand, while Western markets remain mired in paper-based price suppression. This shift in narrative is fueling a wave of retail FOMO, fear of missing out, in China, as ordinary investors rush to acquire silver, sensing both its intrinsic value and its potential as a hedge against financial instability. As the old mechanisms of price control lose their grip, China's proactive stance is poised to reshape the global silver market. Okay, and it goes on and on. Great article. An article published in Sina Finance, right? Explores and talks about the big benefits of silver. Right. And then we're not even talking about India. Okay. Briefly, let me tell you, everything I just said about China is true about India as well. I know a lot of Indian people. They're very smart. They're very motivated. And they love gold and they love silver. And I think the argument can be made that right now, India is even developing at a little faster clip than China. Okay. You're talking. Hold on. Oh, do you guys know who this is? That walkie-talkie just talked to me. That is the boss. That is upstairs Susie. She had something to say, but I couldn't understand her because she was holding her walkie-talkie too close to her mouth. Susie, we didn't quite get a copy on what you said. Over. Okay, you got to hold the button when you talk.
100 likes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Susie. We got 100 likes, guys. That means that in a few seconds, the moment you've been waiting for, we're going to ring the golden gong. I'll put it there to tease you. But India, no joke. Like India, they love silver and gold more than China. In India, like they're going to have 100 million. That's like a third of the United States' entire population. 100 million people moving into the consumer class in the next, 5 years is what it is. Okay. You know why? And look, the reality is Americans are selling their gold. Okay. There's a big report out of New York on Jewelers Row, right? Americans are selling their silver. Listen to what the coin shop people are telling you, right? People are bringing in their silver, cashing it in. Guess what? All that silver, do you hear a big sucking noise? It's being sucked over to China and India. One more quick thing we want to talk about. This is massive implications for the precious metals markets, including silver, is this quick point right here. We're only going to read one paragraph, right? Huawei, which is the massive Chinese tech company, says its new solid-state EV battery can give you 1,800 miles, and I'm sharing the wrong screen. Now we're on the right screen. Sorry, guys. Make sure this pulls up. There we go. Huawei says its new solid-state EV battery can give you 1,800 miles of range and charge in less than 5 minutes. Imagine that. An electric car that can go 1,800 miles before it needs to be recharged, and it only takes 5 minutes to recharge it. It all has to do with what are called solid-state batteries. You probably have heard a little bit about them. Look at that picture from that. That's a cool-looking car, I got to say. Huawei is the latest in a growing list of automakers and tech companies that are exploring the possible benefits of fitting an EV with solid-state batteries, with the likes of BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, BYD, and Stellantis all publicly touting the tech. This is a big deal because all of the information that's available out there that talks about solid-state EV batteries mentions silver. Some of the batteries that are being developed by Samsung, and I believe are being now tested by Toyota's Lexus brand, actually have almost a kilogram of silver in each battery. A kilogram, just for your refreshing, is equal to about 33 ounces of silver. The future looks bright. We got major news today out of Elon Musk. But the biggest news is that you're here. You joined us. We got 100 thumbs up. Hey, let's ring the golden gong 3 times. Listen to it resonate. You're important. Okay. Thanks for being here. I'm going to look forward to seeing you next time. We are on a wild ride with the precious metals. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.